Hey guys, welcome back to the Film Fan Club. Sam Carrico here. San Diego Comic-Con is wrapping up, but they just released a bunch of sweet new trailers. Let's talk about it. DC Films really brought their A game this year at Comic-Con, starting Saturday with a poster that looked like something straight out of the comics with art by Alex Ross. But they didn't stop there. They had an awesome trailer after the panel where they announced a lot of news. But let's talk about the trailer in this video. It looked freaking fantastic. First off, we get a great idea of what's kind of the world has been like. We got a glimpse of it in Suicide Squad, but really we still feel like it's a world without Superman. It really is a world kind of still coping with the loss of Superman after they just started to like him at the end of Batman vs. Superman whenever he sacrificed himself for everybody. Spoiler alert for that movie. A couple things I noticed right off the bat was not only the kind of world building that they do, but the tone has really kind of shifted from the darker Chris Nolan, Zack Snyder. Well, it still has a lot of the Zack Snyder isms, if you will, but at least the tone has kind of been brightened a little bit, whereas it has more humor and more lightheartedness, just with the inclusion of characters like the Flash and the way that the situations are presented. We do get a little glimpse of Steppenwolf. We get to see him arrive in Themyscira. He's wrecking stuff, and then Bruce Wayne says something to the effect of, we're pretty much out of time. It's now or never. So the Justice League finally has to come together. We get a lot of awesome shots of the great action. A lot of I think the CGI on characters like Cyborg has been improved quite a bit. Of course, Ben Affleck looks fantastic as Batman, and Jim Gordon, played by J.K. Simmons, is going to be really great in this film as well. He looks straight out of the comics, as do many of the characters. I think Ezra Miller's The Flash really works well. I was afraid the humor wouldn't work, but I think it really does, even at the end whenever they're like, oh wow, they all just vanished. That's really rude, and then he just leaves. And I think the way that he plays it, he really makes the humor work for this film. It was something that it could easily not work, but also I don't know if this is any of Joss Whedon's influence on the film, but I think that having him there at least really helps in any case. But this does still feel like a Zack Snyder film. I mentioned the CGI on the certain characters looks really good, but a lot of the action set pieces that I imagine take place during the climax look really like overblown, just pretty much just overdone. Too much. A lot of CGI. Like some of the practical sets. I just saw Dunkirk. They had really high stakes in that film. It was a really action-packed, high octane film. Baby Driver was a really fun, action-packed film. They didn't need to have. I mean, this is a different type of film entirely than those two. But there, you can do more with less sometimes. And sometimes, whenever you do so much CGI and you have buildings falling down and Aquaman smashing through buildings in like 15 seconds, it starts to look a little fake because it's just so much for me to take in, so much suspense of disbelief, if I could say that correctly. But I do hope that they don't go too far in this film, and I really hope that the plot doesn't just kind of devolve into an action, extravaganza that just kind of becomes something out of Dragon Ball Z, which was a lot of some people's complaints with the DC universe, going back as far as Man of Steel. There's a lot to enjoy with this trailer, though. I really liked getting to see Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Cyborg all interact. I do think Steppenwolf's narration was pretty menacing, although we're just now meeting this guy, and I don't think there's a lot of, investment in his character. I really don't know what he's even capable of. I think that we just have Batman's dream sequence in Batman vs. Superman to go off of, and I did like I would have liked a little shot, because I imagine whenever he, puts his weapon into the ground and kind of lights up everything, he's going to make the Omega symbol, and I would have liked to seen that reveal, because that would have kind of been further connecting that to Batman's dream sequence, which we don't really need much more of, because we do see his henchmen. They look pretty much identical, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that come to fruition. But again, there's not really that much investment in the villain of this film. I'm really looking forward to getting to see the Justice League interact. I think the Justice League, the cast, the way that they work together, it's going to be really fun, and that'll either make or break the film, because they look like the cast at least is having a really good time. They recently addressed the Ben Affleck rumors. I think he himself said that he's really in it for this film. Like, the tagline for this film says, maybe Ben Affleck is all in on Batman. So it looks like they're having a great time making it. So I'm really hoping that chemistry really shows. I think it showed in the trailer, and that's probably my highlight of this film. I think the humor has been really improved on in films like Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel. And the action looks really fun. It's not going to have a shortage of action. I just hope that it doesn't like go further past my suspension of disbelief than I mean, it's hard to say that in a comic book film, but you know, films like The Dark Knight and Man of Steel, I don't think they went entirely too far past my suspension of disbelief. Or I think in of course, in Man of Steel, you could have toned down the CGI and the action set pieces just a little bit. So I hope that they kind of take their lessons and don't. I'm sure they have a lot more left to do to touch it up, but that's just one of my concerns. But there's a lot to go into with this for positives going into this film based off this trailer. I think it was a really good trailer. It was exactly what we need, kind of capitalizing off the success of Wonder Woman, which was really great. She looks great in this film. I really liked getting to see what did you do this weekend, Diana? And we see her taking down a bunch of henchmen, so there will not be a shortage of Wonder Woman in this film. So I think each character hopefully will get a moment to shine, and this film is gonna be awesome. Let me know what you guys thought of Justice League in the comments section below. Thanks so much for checking this video out, guys. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content like this. We got a lot of other Comic-Con videos up right now, more trailer reviews. We're going to be breaking down all the news that came out of Comic-Con, so you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well while you're at it, at Samuel D. Carrico. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.